We are getting fetch lands, finally, though they will be box toppers, and that wasn't quite what people were looking for. But in that same stream, I actually missed it the last time around, so I shut it off as soon as I found out that we're getting fetch lands. I was like, oh my god, first I want to talk about this. Then went back later, revisited it, rewatched the entire thing, and looks like Modern Horizons 2 is going to be the set that we're going to be seeing the meaningful reprint. Now, Modern Horizons, if you weren't playing Magic around then, or if you do remember, it was a nightmare. The amount of cards that ended up being banned and destroyed modern decks and made the formats just completely chaotic, and Wizards had almost no control. They barely play tested some of these cards, and for the most part was kind of a disaster. So what is going to happen now that they're going to be reprinting the fetch lands in the next Modern Horizons, which will be coming out Q3, so somewhere between September to October around for the 2021 year. So it's going to be almost a year. Actually, it will be about a year. They're saying 8 to 12 months. I'm saying it's going to be about a year till we actually see fetch lands in a meaningful reprint. What really frustrates me is the fact that it's going to be enemy fetch lands. They've already said that. And it's going to be in, what, $6 to $8 booster packs? Okay. They just released Secret Lair Ultimate Edition, which is retailing for $250 to $300 plus dollars. People are buying them at that price, so the amount of money that they've lost now that the fetch lands are going to be in a $6 to $8 booster pack. Now, I didn't buy it personally, so I don't really care about. I didn't get screwed over in that sense, but it's just the fact that Wizard of the Coast leverages their old prints of cards and their equity in the market, the secondary market, to put out these outrageous prices, and then later they're like, you know what, let's put in a $6 booster pack and completely crash the market's price for Secret Lair Ultimate Edition. And depending on how much Modern Horizons gets printed, you may never see fetch lands ever go back to the prices they were before. To some people, that might be a good thing. To some people who bought it in very high in 2018 at Modern's all-time high, that's a bad thing. You spent $70 to $100 on one copy of a Scalding Tarn, and now it's going to be reprinted in a $6 to $8 booster pack. Now, the last time enemy fetch lands were printed, they were in the Masters packs, which were a $9 to $10 booster pack, which was actually more than what the Modern Horizons booster pack is going to be, unless they inflate the prices of this as well. But just think about how annoyed you are as a player. Okay, Modern was very expensive, and guess what? People are going to get really upset with me for saying this, but Modern is not that expensive. People have been asking for fetch land reprints for all this time. You can go into Modern right now with the Red Prowess deck for $300. You've pretty much had every single Tron card printed recently in Core Set 2021 and Double Masters. You can probably build that for $400 to $500, especially if you get slightly played copies. And there's plenty of other cards. Even Burn right now is like a $600 deck. It used to be over many Modern decks used to be $1,000 was like the average. Right now, the average Modern price, you probably find a lot of them, if you get slightly played, $600 to $700, especially with the impending reprint of fetch lands. You're probably going to even be able to access Modern for even cheaper. If this is a hobby that you love, you should be invested in it at a certain extent. I'm not saying, every deck should be $1,000 to $2,000. Of course not. Absolutely not. And I agree with you 100%. But when fetch lands are being asked to be reprinted again and again and again, like a broken record, it's like, we get it. They are going to be reprinted. But the way Wizards did it is very annoying, by baiting people into buying Secret Lair Ultimate Editions for the price points that they ended up becoming. Okay? And then later being like, okay, $6 to $8 booster packs sounds fine with me. That is going to get a lot of players frustrated, a lot of collectors frustrated as well. Particularly the players who bought in at such a high price point. Again, like I said, in 2018. Now, I was playing a lot of Modern back then, 2018, and I bought and, I created a bunch of decks. I made a bunch of decks. I have like over 12 Modern decks right now. Some of them are a little bit budget, but I would say I have at least 7 Tier 1 Modern decks. And then because of Wizards bannings, 2 of them are unplayable now, which is Affinity, which is a deck that you didn't need actually fetch lands, believe it or not, and Hollow One, which you do need some fetch lands in. And Honestly, this just really upsets me because just the way that they went about it. They said they were going to do meaningful reprints. Some people didn't believe them, some people did. And it turns out, yes, it was true, but it's going to be, we are going to have to wait for a whole year to get these cards regardless. But now, I'm in the same position I'm assuming as many modern players are. And in terms of looking at their decks and their modern decks and saying whether or not they should just get out of modern, especially just at least sell the fetch lands and then wait for the reprints to get them at a cheaper cost. Because right now, I don't see a lot of these prices ever going back to a similar point right now. I think if you have fetch lands, maybe, you know, it is the best time to sell them just right now and just try to buy into these Modern Horizons ones in a year. I mean, you're not going to be able to play for a year, but we know at least now they're going to be reprinted. So there's that. Anyways, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the video, and I'll read them. And of course, again, I'll see you in the next one.